Let's get started on this. Dude, cancel culture is when you're getting $100 million from Spotify and then you spread vaccine misinformation and then people are like, hey, don't do that. And then you're like, but I want to do that. Please let me do that. That's cancel culture. All right, I got to pee.
Despite his past controversial comments, quote, Neil Young saying, to the workers at Spotify, I say Daniel Ek is your big problem, not Joe Rogan. Ek pulls the strings. Get out of that place before it eats up your soul, says Neil Young. Ek is the Spotify CEO who said that silencing Rogan was not the answer. Dave Rubin, host of the Rubin Report, joins me now. Dave, great to have you back. Thanks for being here today. You know, what about these attacks on Joe Rogan, and what do you make of it?
He became more powerful than CNN. He became more powerful than the New York Times, the Washington Post, and everywhere else. That's why everyone's trying to take him out. Nobody thinks that Joe Rogan, because of some words that he said 10 years ago in a non-pejorative way, I mean, he was often quoting other people saying words in a negative way to make fun of them. Nobody thinks he's a racist. But Neil Young, I just checked on YouTube myself. Neil Young is still on YouTube, and you're not going to believe this. The scary Joe Rogan is also on YouTube. So Neil Young, if you're watching Fox, put your money where your mouth is, man. Don't just get off Spotify, get off YouTube. And you're going to have a lot of other places you're going to have to leave as well.
About this Rumble offer. They've offered him $100 million, which is what he got from Spotify. And as you say, he's the most popular podcast in the entire country, if not the entire world. He has an enormous contract with Spotify because...
Remember how I've talked about cancel culture not being real, even though like I've been canceled more times than most people, including Joe Rogan, and that the reason why everybody loves talking about cancel culture is because like it actually does technically make content creators, famous content creators, feel as though they might get punished in the form of criticism. You know what I mean? All this stuff. The reason why people fucking talk about cancel culture nonstop. Yes, 122 is how long it took for me to pee. The reason why people talk about cancel culture nonstop is because it's one way to make it seem like these eminently powerful, incredibly powerful celebrity superstars to appear as though they are just like the everyday common person, okay? If you work at a Jiffy Lube, cancel culture will strike at any given moment for you. And what I mean by that is not necessarily, you'll get canceled because you said something, but I mean like cancel culture in the form of like actual material consequences for you will happen at an at-will employment place no matter what. It's just, that's something that the American government has fought hard, has been lobbied by mega corporations and just the wealthy capitalists in general to create a system where you can get fucking fired for any given thing. That's very real. That's not real for someone who has developed a gigantic audience for themselves, that has been able to get millions of dollars in fucking deals and shit like that. It's not real. It's not going to happen. It's something that people hit me with all the fucking time. I mean, think about it this way. I mean, even today, even like since yesterday and today, people are trying to be like, dude, you deserve to be canceled because you're like stealing hardworking labor from the fucking other YouTube content creators who, most of them, the overwhelming majority of which appreciate when you watch their videos, but like, we're going to fucking cry about it. Like that's not real. It's not a real thing. Like people can come in here and be like, they're beating your ass in the QRTs, but ultimately that's not a real fucking thing at all, right? Or when you buy a fucking car, like, oh my God, cancel culture. Like it's not real. I could constantly fucking cry about cancel culture and be like, look how much they are attacking me. Look how fucking terrible it is. My life is so terrible. Cancel culture is so real. It's so bad. But it doesn't mean anything. It's like completely fucking meaningless. Neil claims to not want to work on a platform with Rogan, yet he exists on the same world as Rogan. Curious? Yeah. But it does make you seem... I love that they always ask another white person if another white person is racist. Trust me, you don't want them to ask a black person because they'll find a fucking black person that'll say, no, that person is not racist. And it'll frustrate you even further. So, that can happen as well, for the record. Hasan, you're going to lose the midterms? Me? Like, I'm going to lose the midterms? Yes. Yeah, it's not like there's a shortage of black Republicans that will come on and love to talk about how Joe Rogan is not racist at all. What's your take on ContraPoint's more personal take on cancel culture's existent form and deleterious effects? I mean, it does hurt discourse for the most part, okay, but it's totally avoidable. And the people that think cancel culture is unavoidable and awful, like, I mean, I've seen the impacts personally in my life. It bums me out. It upsets me. It has the capacity to stop other people from finding my content. It's the reason why there's so many fucking weirdo furries on the internet right now with anime avatars and furry avatars that are saying all you do is, you know, move away from the camera and play videos, and that's what you do. That's not what I do. It's the opposite of what I do. But like, you think that because someone went through the effort to, like, you know, build a library of content that makes it seem like that's all I do. And that sucks. It hurts. You hear it nonstop. It has the capacity to like upset you. It has the capacity to like hurt your feelings. It can be a little overwhelming. You know, I've had a string of fucking cancellations over the course of months and months and months since I bought the house that really bummed me out at a certain point. At the end, it's still, you know, this community is more powerful than it's been. Community is larger than it's ever been. It's not real. It's not a real thing as long as you, like, you know, put your fucking head down and you keep trucking. Same with Joe Rogan. Even if you do something that's deserving or worthy of like genuine criticism, it still doesn't matter. So I don't know what else to say other than that. Like, it's a way for wealthy people to come across like they are just like you, but it's not. They're not like you. I am not like in your situation either. Just for the record, I'm saying that honestly. It has the capacity to hurt you. It has the capacity to like hurt your opportunities. Nobody likes being smeared for fucking, you know, months on end by people who are just straight up lying about you, obviously, right? But it is what it fucking is. I know. I wish I had a better. I wish I had a better solution for it. But just know you've had a profound effect of converting a bunch of reactionary shits like me to be more leftist and more empathetic. That's great. I mean, I'm happy. That's why I do it. All right, let's continue. It's really disappointing to hear when other leftists decide to get super hung on cancel culture. It definitely ends up detracting more from meaningful content they could be producing. I mean, part of it is it does make the movement look bad. It does make the movement look like a bunch of silly cry bullies that like constantly fucking are complaining about like dumb shit. And some of this shit is dumb. And most people are complex individuals. Most people have some reactionary tendencies. We live in a reactionary society. It's all social conditioning. So you're basically denying like a real human condition of being imperfect and having reactionary tendencies when you constantly declare that like every individual, every independent content creator is supposed to be like a brand. And even brands are only doing that for marketing. Anyway, let's continue.
He has 11 million listeners. Which,
what? You are contaminating your content?
Favorite TV shows, they're going to find that this is well above that, right? What's going on with this Rumble offer? I know you had some behind-the-scenes stuff on that.
Yeah, I was at the dinner 2 nights ago when it came to be. I was one of the guys that came up with the idea. I did merge my company, Locals, with Rumble. So I am somewhat involved in all of this. I can tell you, Rogan, if you're watching, the deal is 100% legit. And if you want more money, maybe we can negotiate. Rumble is here to allow people to say what they want.
Like, what's up, dude? That's like, this is an honest dialogue. You literally brought a dude who has like a financial interest in Joe Rogan moving over to the company. Like, that's crazy. Like, how the fuck, dude? It's just so weird that like, this is what the honest non-mainstream media does. Can you imagine? Like, CNN does this all the time. Who do they do that with? With motherfucking defense contractors, or with people that are like lobbyists or have done like underwriting for I don't know, the pharmaceutical industry, you know what I mean? And then they come on and they fucking shit on Medicare for all. They do that. But if they were to do that on like an issue where, if CNN was to do that on an issue about Joe Rogan, for example, they would get understandably criticized. They'd be like, this sucks. This is crazy.
I want to say, we would love to take his entire catalog, all the ones that Spotify deleted before he signed with them, and the ones that have subsequently gone off. The entire thing, we'll put it all up on Rumble. He can say whatever he wants, and he can
also, Spotify is literally defending Joe Rogan. So what's the extra defense that like Rumble is? He already got a fucking big cut in his audience to go to Spotify because it's like pumped full of fucking ads. And, you know, there is some editorial control over what he can and can't say. What is Rumble going to offer? Even less fucking people watching him? But then also he can say the N-word all the time? Like, don't worry, we're giving you the N-word pass? Like, what? Oh, thanks, man. It seems sick. He gets his deleted episodes back? Yeah, I guess that, but...
Take the money and run. I mean, this is a great opportunity. You know, he apologized, and I don't begrudge him for whatever pressures came to bear on him. He had to make choices for himself and his family, and that's all just fine. But there's a great opportunity here, not to just make the money. Okay, the guy's got plenty of money, that's fine. but to stand up for what's right, because nobody, really, Martha, nobody thinks this guy's a racist. Nobody thinks he's a bad dude except the amorphous mob, and we just need more people to stand up against it.
Dave, thank you very much. Great to see you today.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm
Yeah, sick. Joe Rogan himself said that he's a victim and has slammed the clip of him using racial slurs as a political hit job. That is real, by the way. That is true. Like, I'm sorry. I hate to be the fucking bearer of bad news. That is real. Like, they came after him for the fucking COVID misinformation, which is understandable and correct. So then they turned around and they was like, that's not enough. It didn't actually impact Joe in the way that we want to. So they fucking literally resurfaced like old ass fucking clips of him saying the N-word. You can say I'm defending him. It is true though. It's fucking true. It's true. The number one thing I say all the time is if someone has already stopped doing something and you just like resurface it to be like, wow, that's crazy. He's doing this. Then like, you're fucking dick. Who are they? Is it an organized group? It's not like the fucking Oppo research people. It's just like Twitter users like Midas Touch who did that. And people want me to say like Joe Rogan is bad, so just say he's bad. Of course, it is bad that he said the N-word a lot. It's no different than like people fucking bringing up old takes that I have constantly. Like the right wingers do this all the fucking time. It's the same exact shit whenever they like bring up old fucking videos, and it's like it's disingenuous. It's totally disingenuous. And for people saying like, so you don't agree with him because he thinks it was organized? No, it's organized in the sense that like it's not organized from like a Oppo hit job, okay? But Twitter is it's like second nature for Twitter users to be able to pile on in this sort of situation, understandably. It's like super easy for everybody to just like get in on one fucking person doing this and like putting out a fire thread. Everyone in this chat loves Ethan, but he relentlessly said the N-word. Yeah, exactly. It's like fucking so dumb. Obviously, Ethan Klein and Joe Rogan have not demonstrated that same level of rehabilitation. That's clear. But even then, it doesn't matter. Ethan has demonstrably changed. Joe Rogan has demonstrably changed. He's just like hasn't lowered his level of racism over to an anti-racist point of view. And he also apologized. So I don't know. I mean, he has apologized for it. So I don't know what else to say other than that. No one's disagreeing with you, but honestly, fuck Joe Rogan at this point. If they want to use his past as a reason for excuse, they might as well. He's done too much damage. It's probably closer to some standards of damage control will get. I mean, you did though. You did get the damage control. He apologized for it, and it made him seem like a reasonable person. It made him seem like a normal, reasonable person in the eyes of people who are Normans, who actually fucking see themselves as like closer to Joe Rogan than they ever would to someone like you.
I was an ex.
In those people's eyes, Joe Rogan apologized really well, actually. Chad needs to keep this energy for people that are actively being racist right now, not 10 years ago. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I agree with you that the compilation was an opportunistic and Twitter thing, but this apology went and showed how his mindset is mostly the same. N-word apology was fine, but that was low-hanging fruit. Yeah, this makes him look like a victim and moves the conversation away from his real problems. Yeah, exactly. That's precisely what this looks like to the Normans. And if you do care about optics, at least to a certain degree, like, you have to understand that. Apology fixes everything. No, but in a situation like this, what else do you want to do? Like donate to black people's cash apps? Is that what you're gonna say? God, rad libs are so fucking unbearable, dude. Anyway, when is the Dave Chappelle segment? Gonna go to sleep soon. It's coming. Joe Rogan weighed in again on the controversy over his repeated use of the N-word in his podcast and Spotify's removal of dozens of past episodes because of his racially insensitive language, and this time played the victim card. Last Friday, Spotify pulled 70 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience from his platform, dating from 2009 to 2018, which the streamer said it did at the request of Rogan and his team. That came after singer India Arie last week said she was pulling her music and podcast off Spotify, citing Rogan's language around race. She reposted a video on Instagram compiling 24 times Rogan used the N-word on his podcast, and the resurfaced clip soon went viral. Rogan addressed the situation on Tuesday's episode of his podcast, which exclusively distributed by Spotify. The video that has been always out there, it's like, this is a political hit job, Rogan said, and he continued. And so they're taking all the stuff I've ever said that is wrong and smushing it all together. And it's true, they did do that. And they have done that to me, and they can easily do that to me. Right-wingers do it all the time. Liberals can do it as well. It doesn't matter. They did that. That's real. That's a real thing that happened. By the way, yeah, of course, it's, once again, you are correct, Shy Ho. It is not my apology to accept, clearly. but it is my perspective. Like, you might disagree with my perspective, and that's something that I admit all the time. I'm a white person. I'm not only a white person, but a white person that did not even grow up in the United States of America. So obviously my relationship with racism is very different than the average American white person, and definitely way different than the average American black person, obviously. Thanks. The things he has said is something so deeply ingrained. There's no way he's not racist still. Oh, dude, I'm not even saying Joe Rogan is not racist. There's a degree of racism amongst most people that have grown up in a fucking white supremacist country. And Joe Rogan has just like dialed back the levels of racism. He's not like a fucking tier 3 racist. He's like a tier 1 racist now. Okay, that's it. I said this last time we talked about it too. You were being sympathetic from a celebrity POV, not gonna lie. No, I'm being sympathetic from the point of view of someone who understands that, like, the average human being in America, as I've said already, the average human being in America is already like way more fucking racist than Joe Rogan and is actively racist right now. And if someone himself is no longer actively racist or is like saying the N-word or anything like that, then punishing them for shit that they've done in the past that they've clearly atoned for is not a productive thing to do. Especially considering that the overwhelming majority of people will look to this and continue being racist and then also say, look, these people want so much more. All whites born raised? I mean, no, but black people are born into a white supremacist country and have white supremacist adjacent experiences that literally manifest itself in internalized hatred. So it's just the truth. It's just the unfathomable, unavoidable, and very sad reality that, yes, if you're taught in under a white supremacist curriculum, if you're taught in a white supremacist country, if you're surrounded by people who normalize white supremacist attitudes, then of course you're also going to feel that way. There are fucking people, there are black people that don't know about, like the bombing of Black Wall Street. Like, that's crazy to me. How is a simple apology going to atone for the extent of his words? There is not anything else that you can do. It's just the first step. And the second step is stopping and not repeating it. And considering that Joe Rogan had already reached the second step, that's the reason why I'm saying, like, people go overboard for stuff like this. That's why I get more upset about the COVID misinformation. That's why I think the COVID misinformation is fucking worse than like his racism in the past, because he's like actively fucking misinforming people, white people, black people, everyone, into not getting the vaccine, being afraid of the vaccine. All this shit. His transphobia is actively harming people. He's like, if he's still doing the same level of fucking racist rhetoric, then yeah, that's understandable. My take from a couple days ago, as a black guy, it's a decent apology for what it is. Him saying he was racist then won't change the fact that he said what he said. It's just lip service at the end of the day. Yeah, for sure. For the record, I'm not even saying like you shouldn't be upset at Joe Rogan. Like, if you want to, if you're a black person and you've heard Joe Rogan speak this way, like people that you've heard speak this way a million times over, right? It's understandable, of course. That's why I say it's not my apology to take. I get it, and go after him if you want. But as far as my personal point of view, it's like he's better than the very, very low bar that we've set, or that I've set at least. At the same time, Rogan said it's good because it makes me address some shit that I really wish wasn't out there. See, like that's what I mean. It's like, this is not a person that is like excited about having his old clips out there. You know what I mean? If he was still like fucking that level of racist, then he would say, whatever, I'm just using it's out of context. Shut the fuck up. Fuck you. Of course he wouldn't be Pepela. No, dude, come on. We live in a fucking planet where like Steven Crowder got mad at him for fucking apologizing for this shit. Come on. Why has Hasan had horrible takes lately? Yes, it's because I'm a dirty cappy. I think the important thing isn't that he is less racist than the average white person, is that people are capable of change. Yeah, 100%. 100%. The Joe Rogan of that time didn't think he was racist while he was still being racist. The Joe Rogan of today recognizes that Joe Rogan of that time was being racist when he didn't think he was being racist. And it certainly does come across as racist, right? And Joe Rogan still does have racist ass fucking takes. He does. Of course he does. He didn't shake it. He's not anti-racist. It just takes time. Anyway, at the same time, Rogan said it's good because it makes me address some of the things that are out there. You just have to stay offline. Life goes on as normal, Rogan told his guest, stand-up comedian and actor Akash Singh.